Kids in pubs. Good morning. Today we've come out to a place called Anglezarke Reservoir, which is basically a local beauty spot. Not today though, because it's cold and it's miserable and it's damp and it's grey and it's drear, as our friends over the border would say. It's quite nice, it's beautiful. There's a huge reservoir surrounded by paths. It's very busy today with families and dogs all enjoying it. Doesn't really suit me because I don't like humans. I like the place to myself. Molly's with me somewhere. Can you see her? Don't know if you can see her or not. She's having fun. Anyway, just had a poo. Good girl. What I want to talk to you about today is something, well, I said in my last video that I don't go to the pub. Now, I haven't been to the pub for quite a while. We are talking probably a couple of years. And the reason for that is we used to go every Friday to the local pub, and two of us decided to pack it in because it just got the same people and the same conversation, and it was always dull and dire and awful, and then we'd just end up drinking too much whiskey at the end of the evening and getting absolutely slaughtered, going back on the marina, going on Tony's boat, polishing off another bottle. And I don't miss it. I like a drink, but I'll have a drink on the boat, but I don't miss it. But there's one thing that really winds me up, and that is kids in pubs. There you go. Throwing that one out there. Contentious issue. But let me split that up into a subcategory. Let me say badly behaved kids in pubs, because I know that there are many parents out there who have well-behaved kids who go in the pub. We didn't. When I was a kid, you didn't go into the pub. What you did, you'd go somewhere, your mum and dad would go in and they'd sit you outside the pub and bring you out a bottle of lemonade and a packet of crisps while they went and had a drink. I mean, my parents weren't alkies or anything. My dad was a head teacher. My mother ran a department in the hospital, so, you know, they were just, but they were allowed a pint. But nowadays, kids go in, and like I say, it's great, it's well behaved, but when I go into a pub, I want to go in, nice quiet time, want to watch a bit of sport on the telly, have a chat, you know, quiet pint or two, and all is good. But increasingly, it seems that you've got these young lasses bringing these screaming, fecking kids into pubs. They can't control them. They don't want to control them. So they sit down having a chat about the last holiday in fucking Torremolinos, which I can't afford to have. I'm retired. And I couldn't afford it when I was working, to tell you the truth. God knows where they get the money from. They probably get the money off the poor old husband who's out grafting. Or robbing. Not to be judgmental. But then the kids are the kids. And I think other people must be able to sympathise with this. The kids charge about like animals, screaming and bloody shouting and jumping about and banging into you and knocking your pints over. And these two dobbers, because they usually are dobbers with their scrape back and probably got a four-wheel drive parked up outside, ignore them. They ignore them completely. They just sit there with a glass of lemonade, talk about Torremolinos while the fucking kids are causing mayhem. It winds me the hell. It really does wind me up, that. And that's another reason I don't go in pubs. I come across as a right mourning old git, don't I? I'm not really. There's kids in bloody pubs. Hell's teeth. Old women who go in shops, you go in a shop, right, usually when kids are coming out of school, right, and so the kids, it's not as prevalent as it was when I was a kid. We used to have like tuck shops, and there was always a shop near a school where all the kids would go in after school and buy lucky bags and licorice and crap like that. But it's not as fair. But yeah, but you get kids in shops, and you get like half a dozen kids waiting to be served, and then some old dear comes in with a blue rinse and one of them stupid coats with a dead otter around the bloody collar. What's all that about? And they come wobbling in, they're usually about 3 foot tall, and proceed to push to the front of the queue. No. The reasoning behind this is that they are old and that kids should have respect and get out of the way and let them go first. No, you stupid old goat, you lead by example. No wonder kids resent old people nowadays. It's like, you always think, we always talk about entitlement, and entitlement is usually lumped on the young generation. And it's like, yes, I think there's entitlement, and that winds me up, because I do think that it's kind of almost an excuse not to make much of an effort. But it's not just the younger generation, it's every generation, because what it is, it's not a generation coming through, it is society as a whole. Come on, Molly. Yeah, so like I was saying, it's not just the young generation, it's society as a whole, because it's a societal change rather than a generational change, isn't it? It just goes through the whole lot. So I can be entitled, young people can be entitled, and old people can be entitled, but then they've got this, they weaponise it. Well, old people, I mean, I'm an old person, I'm well into my 60s now, but they weaponise it. And they really should lead by example. I thought it's just kids. I mean, it's everywhere. And I think we're all guilty of it. Every generation is guilty of it, really. I mean, I've just mentioned older people there, but I've found over the last few years, going into supermarkets and shops and anywhere you go, restaurants, blah, 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 blah. You know, the last couple of years we've not been able to do anything. Yeah, okay, we all know that. But are all attitudes changing? Are we all getting a little bit entitled? Not me. I never even thought about that before I started talking about it. Out fucking shops bullying people. Eh? People who answer a question by saying so. Blah blah, what do you do? So, what? Do that, I'll break your fucking fingers for you. Alright. So. Where did we get that from? We've got all these like things. I mean, we've adopted a lot of things from the States, but I don't think we've adopted that from the States. I think that's just kind of organically grown, isn't it? So, it's bloody wet here, I'll tell you. We are, what it is, this is lying a little bit higher around here than the local country, than the surrounding countryside, so we're actually up in like the cloud layer now. Behind me, you can probably see there's a reservoir. It's stunning. It's a beautiful place, this. And one thing I always say is, when you go out in the countryside, which is all I've ever done in my life, don't just go in there and say, oh, I went because it was a nice day, or we went once, we've been there. Because if you go all the time, because every day it's like different. There might be a different cloud, might be different rain, might be warm, might be cold, might be frosty, might be that. But everything, it's like a blank canvas, the countryside, and it changes all the time. It's a bit fab, isn't it? I know the UK can be blooming miserable, but I don't know whether I'd want to live somewhere that had really predictable weather, that it was going to be the same every day, that you knew what you were going to wake up to in the morning. I'm not sure I'd want that. Somebody whistling for the dog. No, I'm not sure I'd want that. I quite like this. I like being from the UK. That's not like partisan or anything like that. I just like it. I think we have nice culture, nice countryside, nice way of life, nice people. There are some pillocks. There's pillocks all over the place. I mean, we've got a lot of pillocks here. I'm probably one of them. But it's nice. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. Finish my days round here, walking round these woods. It's grand. It's grand. Grand. Good old English word. Miss anybody. Listen to that. Old white privileged man saying England's good. No, it's not. The trendy thing is to slag it off, isn't it? We're reaching our favourite part of this walk now, actually. For those in the northwest of England who can read, we're at Anglezarke Reservoir. And just down this path, there's a couple of benches. And it's nice, not today because there'll be piss wet through, but it's nice on a dry day just to sit there for 10 minutes. Taking in the view across the reservoir. It's quiet. There's not even any bird song because, first of all, the dawn chorus will have dispersed by now and they'll all have gone off to feed somewhere, and there's very little in the woods at the moment for them. Also, it's just wet and miserable, and it seems to dampen everything and everybody's enthusiasm. So there's no birds out. So it's quiet, and all I can hear is my footsteps going through the leaves on the path. I'm happy, mate. I'm a happy chappy. I've never really wanted much in life. I've never had jobs that are really well paid. Well, I worked on oil rigs in Nigeria at one point for about 2 years. I got paid a lot of money then, but spent it as soon as I got it. But I've never had, but I've always, I must admit, I'm one of those people, I've enjoyed going to work every day. And that happened right up until retirement. I wasn't going to retire, but then I got cancer. And basically, I was still rough with that when it came to the point where choice of retirement was coming up. I mean, I've had loads of surgery. It all went wrong, so it's left my body completely wrecked, and it's limited what I can do. I used to do a lot of wild camping in the winter in the lakes, as you'll see on some videos. I can't do that anymore, but then I've been there, done that. I was talking to somebody the other day about that, my best mate, who I spent Christmas with, and she was saying, and I was bemoaning it a little bit, and she just said, Luke, you've done it, you've been there, you've done it, you've done so much. Raced motorbikes, played in a band. They became quite successful, but only after I'd left. Story of my life. As we walk past, there's the bench, one of the benches. And we walk it further, just round this bend, and there, look, another bench. And let me just show you that. Anglezarke Reservoir. Fabulous. It's great being alive, isn't it? I mean, how much do we need out of it? Like I say, I've never had any, but I've always been, every day I've looked forward to getting up and going to work. I'm dead lucky that now I'm coming to like the final years. I've no regrets. My brother once said to me, my brother's quite successful and lovely, lovely family, beautiful, beautiful wife, one of my favourite people in all the world. But he's just grafted all his life and he's amassed, he's comfortable. And I remember him saying to me one day when I was telling stories to his kids, he said, yeah, I've done okay, but I've not got the tales to tell like you have. And I said, yeah, but they're only memories and they fade. But when you look back on it, you think, they only fade so much. They're still there, they're still tangible, they're still, you can still pull them out whenever you want. So yeah, I remember years ago I worked for somebody and he was talking about his mate and he said, oh, my mate's, he's dead successful. He's got this like big car, he's got a big house, he's got loads of money, he does this, he does that. And I said, I'm successful because I'm happy. And that's what it all boils down to, doesn't it? So anyway, we'll carry on with our little walk now because we're having fun. I'm going through a really muddy puddle at the moment and Molly's going to be absolutely messed up to the nines. But what the hell? It's beautiful. It's great being out here. It's great being alive. Coming to the end of another year. Still a lot of pricks about. There always will be pricks, won't there? You come across pricks every day, don't you? What makes a prick? Why is a prick a prick? Pricks me. When I get home, I'm going to make a cup of tea. No hobnobs to dunk. Digests are no good, they're not man enough, you need hobnobs. Anyway, we're back on the boat. Molly's asleep on the couch because she's a bit knackered. Give her another hour, she'll want another walk on the field. Anyway, nice to have had your company. Don't forget, if you like the video, please press the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell, then you get notified when we put content out. And if you want to press the like button, press the like button. It all helps. The algorithm pixes. There you go. Anyway, nice having a walk with you. We'll see you next time. Peace and love.